Alright, so the Royal Rumble coming up, and I was like, I sort of wish, I was like, listen, there's a report already that says that Punk and Cody aren't winning the Rumble, and that Gunther's like the top choice right now, that he's gonna win. And part of me is like, dang it, I wish I didn't come across it, but also I'm glad I did before I did this video. Because I was like, the whole time I was like, oh man, I'm thinking about how to do the video, who I'm going to pick. And I know everybody the consistency of Punk. I figured that Cody this wasn't going to be the route that Cody was going to win. I was like, even though I know they did this whole thing on Raw where they were like, they were going through the history of it. And basically there had been like a double winner, for like almost like a decade or about a decade or two. So that gives more steam than that. The stuff with Seth Rollins, I don't know if that really changed it, but I do think it had a factor in it. Because I do think we not knowing still that he's going to be absolutely ready for WrestleMania. Because it still sounds like it's still wait and see to basically, like, once we get to Elimination Chamber, that's when we're going to basically figure this out. So I do wonder if that changed it. Although for me, I wasn't going to pick CM Punk to win the Rumble. I think the hype is going to have CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Gunther, and a couple other people down to like the last 5 or like last 6, then last 4, how they do it. I think it was going to be there, but I didn't think that CM Punk was going to win. Mainly because I thought they were just going to do the same thing they sort of do with Cody, where you don't get to finish your story either. You just got here, we're over here hyping AJ. I was like this Seth Rollins, CM Punk match. Everybody wants to see it. He wants the headline WrestleMania. And I'm like, yeah, he's not going to get it. I was like, there's a point of striking while the iron's hot. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but he's going to be here for a while. I'm pretty sure with how things are that he probably is okay if he doesn't. I think that it's, but I was like, I think that it's just like, as long as I do. And I was like, so I'm like, he's going to pretty much have his spot that, like, I have a chance next year. And I think that's more of an interesting story of like the year he's been here. Now there's not the whole like, cause you don't want to be predictable to the point that is boring. And I think CM Punk still got all the hype. I think he's going to carry that no matter what, unless he just like, he would have to like really like lose in order for it to die. So that's why I think I'm like, you have it where him maybe winning a championship is low, but his stuff, his hype is still high. But also, I didn't think Cody was going to win it. But before the promo that he had with Seth Rollins on Raw, I actually thought Gunther was going to win. I was thinking that, I'm like, okay, I was like, I don't know if they would do double champ where he had both titles. But I would see that he's the Rumble winner. That, like you could turn some story of it gone to his head. He's too focused on Seth Rollins that when it's time for him to take care of the Intercontinental shot, he has a flaw. Gunther, who been electric the whole time, that was his flaw of where he got too over ambitious or something like that. I don't know, but I was thinking, I'm like, Gunther should be the one to do this because I like Seth been having the whole thing with the back. Seth has been like now especially with the knee that he's hurt. While Gunther been an Iron Man in a different way that Seth been an Iron Man, which he sort of alluded to on Raw. So that's why I was thinking, I'm like, he should basically take out the other Iron Man of this company that's been having the top title and having on his back wrestling every day to prove that there's a higher standard. I won't get hurt like you did and stuff like that. While also you still build on Drew being mad, especially now that the title is on somebody he can't beat. I was like, you still have like, if Jay faces Gunther and beats Gunther, now that's another thing for Drew to be mad at. I'm like, you can parlay this into different things. But to be honest, I don't know who else you really would have to win unless you, like, I think the final 6, I'll say the final 6, I think is going to be Cody, CM Punk, Gunther, Drew. I was thinking Jay, and yes, I know they're all Raw people, so you got to sort of have a SmackDown one in there. LA Knight, he's in that Fatal 4-Way. So that's a little difficult. But so, man, I was like, it's really hard to really see anybody from SmackDown in a way that's like impactful. Like that makes it seem like, like kind of like I want it to be like, because to me, I was like, there's going to be somebody that's not expected to be here. Like Drew, you can see Gunther, you can see CM Punk and Cody. That builds up to the whole thing. Jay, I think could, just because I'm like, you have the whole. If he wins, he get to face Roman. He gets another shot. I was like, that's another story there. So that's why I'm like, who else? Like, I mean, maybe you could do a returning Sheamus just because it's McIntyre and it's Gunther there. You could do that if he returns. Maybe you just go right out the gate, and if you are able to get an Andrade there, you just go ahead and just be like, look, this is why you came back. I'm the one that Trips is the one that was behind your back. We just gonna have you in the finals. That way, no matter how, like that way he platforms. That's a good look for him. And that's why I'm saying, I'm like, the SmackDown person isn't going to win, but you want somebody to look good. The only other thing I can think of, you have like a call up. If you have like an NXT call up, like if Carmelo Hayes is able to make it down to all these veteran guys, and it's just like, how is he still here? How is this rookie still here? That kind of thing. That's what I think the build-up could be. So those are my. I was like, those are my 5. I think that will probably be close up in there. I mean, yes, I was like, Jimmy could do something to cause Jay, but I'm also like, they do joint pay-per-views, so therefore it could always be something. But though, I was like, that's how I feel about that. In regards of maybe of who I'll say would win it. I think it's gonna be Gunther. I do think it's gonna be Gunther. Returns, I was like, I really don't think the men are gonna have any returns outside of or surprises outside of like Andrade if he gets there in time, and Sheamus. I don't think Big E. I was like, I don't see it this year. Like maybe next year, or depending on. I was like, this is basically with a bill of health, and if he wants to continue, that kind of thing. But yeah. So there's that. The women's, I was like, I think Jade Cargill might show up here. Not saying that she will have any match or nothing like that unless she wins, but I think this is where she will show up. I think she'll be built big to last in there. So I think it's gonna be her. I think it'll be Bayley. I think it'll be Becky. I think it's gonna be Nia. I was like, that's 4. Because I was like, Belair is going to be in there as well. Because you want to also have, kind of like, Nia has the whole thing with Rhea. Becky had the thing with Rhea. Bianca, I think, while we might all be like, oh, Damage Control, I think they could build up a program for her and Rhea, and that is tear the house down outside of Becky. I think Bayley's the one that's probably going to win because that's the story that they're going with Io. And Jade is there just because I was like, she's not gonna win it. It's just gonna be the allure of her there. And once again, I also think I think they're going to try to be a younger person there as well. I just feel like that's what Trips has been trying to do. It basically getting ready for that next crop of women, because you got your legends, then you got your next gen, and then you got the up and coming. So you got to develop those up and coming. I don't know who that necessarily would be from either NXT or any of the girls now out, because I was like, Zoe done sort of had her moment. Niles have too, so I don't really know from that perspective. Maybe if they would have kept building Xia Li up, that would have been cool. I was like, I don't know if they're gonna bring up Stratton or nothing like that. Core J's hurt, so I'm like, I don't know. I think the women might have a few legend people here, but I don't think it's going to be any surprises or anything like that either. I think this is going to be pretty much, the surprise is going to be the last few people left and who's winning. I think that's what they're going to be this year. I don't think they'll be surprised. Like, who's that? Who that? And I don't think it's nothing about who. I don't think it's none of that. But yeah, I think Bayley will win. I was like, if I go back, I was like, the men's, I was like, I would probably have, I was like, if I wanted to pick, it'd probably be Gunther or Jay. Cause I think that would be that, cause that way you could have the triple threat of Rock, Roman, and Jay. If that's what you did, I was like, that's a better route to me than Cody with a triple threat. Women's, I think Bayley's gonna win. I would like Bianca to win, and I was like, but she already won it. That's another thing. I just think her match against Rhea would be a big match at WrestleMania, but also she won it, so I was like, in that kind of point. All the only other match that I know is Kevin Owens versus Logan. Logan's gonna win. They're gonna keep that title on him. We're gonna do some way of winning through some nefarious acts. I don't think he's going. I think he's gonna have a big moment at WrestleMania, and that's where he's gonna lose. He might win. I think he's gonna get to WrestleMania and have his big moment. And the Fatal 4-Way, Roman's going to win. I'd be shocked if they did some surprise win here now all of a sudden. I mean, don't get me wrong. If there was ever going to be a chance to get the title off without it really affecting Roman, would be in a Fatal 4-Way where he doesn't have to get pinned. Hell, maybe he stacked all their asses up. I don't know. But he also not going to be an Elimination Chamber, so that's already a precursor to being like, he's not going to be there. But I'm just saying, if you had the right person, you'd be like, Roman loses, and he has to now show up at Elimination Chamber that he ain't previously set on. That could just be a route. But we know he's going to win that one, so that's not even concerning. So before those reports came out, I didn't think that Cody or CM Punk was going to have their story finished and nothing like that. So I was like, and granted, things can change. I was like, we knew a couple of years ago that it was Drew McIntyre over Malachi Black, almost up to the last minute. I was like, the report that Matt Riddle was supposed to win it, but Brock was like, I'm winning. So, hey, things can change at the very last minute, and you want to get it right. You want to get the storylines right, and that set up Elimination Chamber and set up to WrestleMania. But anyway, hopefully we all enjoy the WrestleMania. There ain't nothing that makes y'all get angry or riot or do what y'all do in the wrestling community, that kind of thing. Either way, it's going to be fun. We're going to check that hell out. And speaking of out, that's me. Peace.